America. I was diagnosed in 2003 with chronic lymphocytic leukemia. My symptoms were absolute chronic fatigue. I didn't know what fatigue was at that point, and I felt so rough. I've heard people describe it as flu-like symptoms, and it's so true. Everything was too much effort. My temperature control just went completely, and I'd be very hot at night or very cold, but not necessarily at the times that other people would feel those things, and the same during the day as well. I've also found it a lot easier to lose weight. The weight I've always struggled with my weight, and that seemed to come off easier. I had a lot of infections, so I thought, I was run down, basically. Bruising, and it was bruising where I didn't remember hitting myself, and so I thought, well, when I hit myself, I shall remember where I've hit myself and wait for the bruise. And sometimes that didn't come. And the bruises tend to keep on bleeding under the skin, which was unusual. In the first 50 years of my life, healthiest person you could meet. I hadn't had a day off sick in nearly 30 years. And then I got gynecological problems, had an operation, and I just didn't get better after that. And I went to the gynecologist, and he said, I can't do any more for you medically. He did blood tests, and then when I went back to see him, he said, I've never had to tell anybody this before, but you've got chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And all I could see was the chronic, with like a cartoon, with great pointy bits all around it and everything. And the next thing I know, I'm out of the door, and I'm thinking, I must remember those 3 words, chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And I remember a nurse running after me and saying, are you all right? So of course I said, yes, I'm absolutely fine. And off I trotted, and then burst into tears on my husband. And the words that kept on coming back to you was the gynecologist saying, I can't do any more for you. And I thought, well, that's it, I'm not going to make it home. And he had meant on his side, but of course I misinterpreted it. And so I went to see my GP, who'd just been on the haematology course, which was rather apt. And I started on a watch and wait